Hamjambo, mimi ni Abdul Karim. Karibuni katika darasa la Kiswahili la leo. Katika darasa hili tutajifunza relatives of time, place and manner. This is the topic. Relatives of time, place and manner. This relatives in Swahili we can say matumizi ya po na vyo. Yani we have some markers that are used to imply time, and those markers are also used to imply place, and we have other markers that are used to imply manner, how something is done. Okay, so these markers are usually joined, are usually conjugated inside the verb. Okay, like the way we conjugate the normal verb nina enda, the na is for the present tense. Nina lala, nili lala, nilicheza. We have additional markers for time, like this specific time, place and manner. So one of my fan here suggested that I make a lesson about vyo, the marker vyo, which falls under the manner. That's why I made this video for the entire topic, this marker, because if you learn this marker only manner, then you'll be wondering when you hear someone say, what about this? What about this? I heard someone saying this. So that's why I'll teach you all these three. But for this lesson, part 1, we'll talk about the relative of time. Relative of time, which is represented by the marker po in a verb. We have examples. This implies when or the moment something happened. Okay? So let's have examples here. This is the first part of the video, the first part of the lesson, lesson 1. It will have three lessons. This is lesson 1. We're talking about this time, okay? Relative of time. It is again represented by this marker, po. Let's have examples. Moja. Mimi nilipomaliza. Mimi nilipomaliza, when I finished. But just the normal verb. Mimi nilimaliza. I can just write here briefly, nilimaliza. Nilimaliza means I finished. The verb is kumaliza, to finish. Nilimaliza, I finished. Okay? It's in the past tense. I finished. But when we say here, mimi nilipomaliza, when I finished. Okay? This is a normal sentence. When I finished. Sawa. Mimi nilimaliza, when I finished. Ba. Wewe ulipomaliza, when you finished. When you finished, maybe doing something. When you finished. Okay? Yeye alipomaliza, when he finished. When he finished. Sisi tulipomaliza. But just a second. Yeye alipomaliza, when he finished. He or she finished. Yeah, I forgot this she. I don't want some student to say, oh, you're forgetting she. No. When he or she finished. Okay? Sisi da. Sisi tulipomaliza. When we finished. When we finished. Okay? Nyinyi mlipomaliza. When you all finished. Nyinyi mlipomaliza. Wao walipomaliza. Wao walipomaliza. When they finished. Okay, so again, I keep telling students, I give example like this, but this example is not complete. You need to say, when you tell someone, when I finished, the sentence doesn't make, okay, when I finished, then next, what? What am I supposed to do when I finished? So when I finished, when you finished, when he or she finished, we can say here, mimi nilipomaliza kusoma, nililala. Mimi nilipomaliza kusoma, nililala. When I finished reading, I slept. Okay? Wewe ulipomaliza kusoma ulilala. When you finished reading, you slept. And this means that exact time you finished sleeping, you went to sleep. Okay? Po ya wakati. So if you're Swahili, we say this is po ya wakati. Po of time. Wewe ulipomaliza kusoma ulilala. Yeah, I can include the sentence here. Ulipomaliza kusoma wewe ulipomaliza kusoma ulilala. When you finished reading, you slept. Okay? Ulilala. This is for wewe. Yeye alipomaliza kusoma will be alilala. So here we change this. Alilala. Alilala. Sisi tulipomaliza kusoma tulilala. When we finished reading, we slept. Nyinyi mlipomaliza kusoma mlilala. You all slept. Mlilala. Nyinyi mlipomaliza kusoma mlilala. When you all finished reading, you slept. Sawa? Wao walipomaliza kusoma walilala. Walilala. When they finished reading, they slept. So this is in the past tense because of this marker, li, past tense. But this po, it means it's when. It implies when, okay? When. Mimi nilipomaliza kusoma nilala. This specific time, when that event happened, when you finished this, you did this. Okay? Okay, we have another one. The present tense. Let's see how we can use this po in the verbs in the present tense. We use some example here. I'll have to erase this. For the present tense, we have mimi, ninapo. We can use another verb apart from kumaliza. Ninapo, mimi, ninapo soma. Mimi ninaposoma. Wewe unaposoma. Wewe unaposoma. Wewe unaposoma. Yeye anaposoma. Yeye anaposoma. When he read. Anapo. Yes, when he or she read. Da. Sisi tunaposoma. Sisi tunaposoma, when we read. Sisi tunaposoma, when we read. Okay? That's the. Yeah, there is some noises here. Nyinyi mnaposoma, when you all read. And the last one. Wao wanaposoma, when they read. Wao wanaposoma. Mimi ninaposoma, when I read. Okay? Mimi ninaposoma. Wewe unaposoma, when you read. Yeye anaposoma, when he or she reads. Sisi tunaposoma, when we read. Nyinyi mnaposoma, when you all read. Wao wanaposoma, when they read. So we can say, mimi ninaposoma, ninaelewa. Mimi ninaposoma, ninaelewa. When I read, I understand. Sawa? Mimi ninaposoma, ninaelewa. Mimi ninaposoma, ninaelewa. Wewe unaposoma, unaelewa. You understand. Yeye anaposoma, anaelewa. Sisi tunaposoma, tunaelewa. Tunaposoma, tunaelewa. Nyinyi mnaposoma, mnaelewa. Nyinyi mnaposoma, mnaelewa. Wao wanaposoma, wanaelewa. Let's see the first example. Mimi ninaposoma, ninaelewa. This sentence, it means when I read, I understand. It can be, it's not specific time, it's not very specific time, but if I take a book and read, I will understand. And when I read, I understand. So this is like we can say habitual or something. Not very habitual, but this person has experienced it. That every time he takes a book and read, he understands. That's why we say, when I read, I understand. The second one, same. Wewe unaposoma, unaelewa. When you read, you understand. We can also say, whenever you read, you understand. Whenever you read, you understand. But every time you read, sometimes we can add the word Swahili word kila. Kila means every time, like just every. But because we have po for time, when we add kila here, kila, mimi ninaposoma, ninaelewa. This will mean every time I read, I understand. Kila ninaposoma, ninaelewa. So we can remove this mimi and say kila ninaposoma instead of saying kila mimi ninaposoma. It doesn't make sense, okay? You can remove this mimi and say kila ninaposoma, ninaelewa. Kila unaposoma, unaelewa. Every time you read, you understand. Yeye anaposoma, anaelewa. When he or she reads, he or she understand. Kila anaposoma, anaelewa. Whenever he reads, he understands. Every time he reads, he understands. Every time he or she reads, he understands. Sisi tunaposoma tunaelewa. Every time, or when we read, we understand. When you say kila tunaposoma tunaelewa, every time we read, we understand. Every time. Kila. Nyinyi mnaposoma mnaelewa. When you all read, you understand. Okay? Nyinyi mnaposoma mnaelewa. So this sentence, you can say because this mnaposoma, just whenever you read. If you omit to use the word kila, it will mean the same thing. If you want to use the word kila, you will just remove nyinyi. Kila mnaposoma mnaelewa. Every time you read, you understand. You all, okay? Wao. Wao wanaposoma wanaelewa. They. When they read, they understand. When they read, they understand. Wao wanaposoma wanaelewa. You can say kila wanaposoma wanaelewa. Kila wanaposoma wanaelewa. Every time they read, they understand. Whenever they read, they understand. Okay? Kila wanaposoma wanaelewa. This is when we use the present tense marker na. This is na for the present tense. Remember in the last, a few minutes ago, we talked about li, niliposoma. That's in the past. But this one, na, is in the present. Wakati uliopo. But now here in the present, but because we add another time here, po, so it means whenever. It brings the concept of whenever, or something, doing something persistently, okay? Whenever you do this, every time you do this, okay? So it brings that concept there. This po. But in Swahili, this concept here is called po ya wakati usio dhihirika. And this is a specific time. And it's not very specific, it's unspecific time. Just whenever, every time. Po ya wakati usio dhihirika. So, this is when you have this na here. Okay, let's talk about the future. How do we have sentences in the future tense? We'll use another example for the future sentences. But, example, you can put on example, write example, and also at the end of this lesson, I'll give exercise. But if you're watching up to here, in your book, ensure you're writing something so you don't remember, you don't forget, guy, you don't forget. And you do what? You try to use this with other verbs as well. Okay? You can say, kila ninapoamka, kila ninapoamka, whenever I wake up, ninahisi njaa. I feel hungry. Kila ninapoamka, ninahisi njaa. Or if you have a girlfriend or boyfriend, you tell them, kila ninapolala, ninakufikiria. Kila ninapolala, ninakufikiria. Every time I sleep, I think about you. Sawa? Kila ninapolala, ninakufikiria. Or kila ninapolala, ninakuota. I read that one. Ninakuota. This means I dream about you. Every time I sleep, I dream about you. Kila ninapolala, ninakuota. Let's see some sentences in the future. How will this po for the time be in the future? Let's see. in the future. How will we say in the future? So in the future, we will introduce another marker called ka. So normally the future tense is ta, okay? Ta. But when you're doing such relative things, we introduce another marker, ka. So we'll be taka. Then we add here po. Sawa? Takapo. Okay. Mimi. 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 Nitaka. Nitakapo. Nitakapo. Nitakapopika. When I cook. When I cook. Or when I will cook. Okay? When I cook. Wewe. So the verb pika is to cook. Wewe utakapo pika. When you cook. Or when you will cook. Okay? Cha. Yeye. Yeye atakapopika. Yeye atakapopika. When he or she cooks. Yeye atakapopika. Or when he will cook. Atakapopika. Da. Sisi tutakapopika. Nyinyi. Nyinyi mtakapopika. I see the space is finished down here. E. Wow. Wow. Wataka. Wow, watakapopika. You remember I told you introduce a new marker here, ka, for here. So let's see. Mimi nitakapopika. When I will cook. We can say I will eat. Nitakula. Nitakula. Mimi nitakapopika. When I cook, I will eat. When I cook, I will eat. Or when I will cook, I will eat. I don't know which one is the correct form in English. Wewe utakapopika. When you will cook, you will eat. Utakula. Yeye atakapopika. Atakula. When he or she will cook, he or she will eat. Okay? Sisi tutakapopika tutakula. When we will cook, we will eat. Nyinyi mtakapopika mtakula. When you all will cook, you will eat. Nyinyi mtakapopika mtakula. I'm standing on one side. My writings are going this way. Wao watakapopika watakula. When they will cook, they will eat. Watakula. Mimi nitakapopika nitakula, sawa. Wewe utakapopika utakula. When you will cook, you will eat. Sawa. Yeye atakapopika atakula. When he will cook or when she will cook, she will eat. Sisi tutakapopika tutakula. When we will cook, we will eat. So this is implying something that will happen in the future. So if when you will cook, you will eat. Nyinyi, that way. Nyinyi mtakapopika mtakula. When you all will cook, you will eat. And lastly here, wao watakapopika watakula. When they will cook, they will eat. In this form, okay? So we talked about the present tense when using na and when using li, and here when using ta. How does this po 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 change? This po 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 is not the song ma po 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 mbona umeshalala. No, not that one. This is another for time, okay? So let's give you exercise zoezi. You try in the comment section. Yeah, I have a lot of verbs on my YouTube channel. You choose any verb. Unda. So let me write you this one. Right. Write 3 sentences using the relative of time. This one, the one we've just discussed. I want you to put those sentences using the present tense formation and using the past tense formation and using the future tense formation. So for instance, if you write mimi ninapoandika, when I write, okay? So after finishing that sentence, I want you to write another sentence with another tense, like maybe with li, the past, or with ta, the future, and I want to see how your sentence will be. Just 3 sentences only, okay? One sentence, make it add 2 more with different tenses as we've just learned in this lesson, okay? Write in the charts, write in the comment section. In the comment section. Okay, in our next lesson we will talk about the relative of place. The relative of place. It's also implied by po, but we have that's another grammar for the pa kumu noun class. That's where we'll have the relative of place, okay? We'll talk more about that one. I have once made that video on my YouTube, but some students tell me, make it again, make another video about this, okay? Maybe that video was unclear to them. So I'll make that one